Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the Whirlpool refrigerator defrost heater. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new defrost heater. The main reason you'll be changing out the defrost heater is that it's shorted out and it's causing the evaporator to freeze up and it affects the cooling of the fridge. For this repair, we have to open up the freezer door. In order to remove the parts, we have to remove the back panel out of the freezer. So whatever type of shelvings you have to remove everything so we can gain access to it. So first thing you have to do is take the ice bucket out, pull it out halfway, tilt it up and pull it out. And then however your shelves come out, you have to lift them off the pegs and take all the shelving. And then we get the lower bins out. You gotta pull them out until they stop and then lift them up so they come out. With the racks out, we have to remove the rails that actually hold the drawers on both the left and the right hand side. Make sure you pay attention to which side goes where, so when you put them back in, you can remember where they are. On our particular style, the wide one is on the left and the narrow one is on the right. So we need to take out all 4 of these. All these screws are Phillips screws, so use a Phillips screwdriver to take them out. Also, to make it easier to get the back panel out, we can take these mounting clips off. They should just pop off if you push up on the bottom of them. Not all types release like this, so make sure you don't force it and break it. They should just slide up fairly easy. Do this to all 4 of them. If you have the style that doesn't come out, you may have to just work around it and twist the back cover as you pull it out. Taking all 4 rails out will make it easier to take out the back panel. Okay, the back panel is held in by 6 Phillips screws. All we have to do is take them out. Okay, now that we have all the screws out, if you have this type of light cover, we want to go ahead and get out of the way of this panel. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is squeeze it and release the locking tabs. And then just set it out of the way. In order to get the panel out, we have to lift it up so it comes off these 2 tabs. So just push it up from the bottom a little bit. Then you can lift it out a little bit. You have to get it out from behind this panel right here. And then you can pull it out. In order to remove the defrost heater, we first have to remove the 2 screws that hold in this plastic housing. You can use a 1/4-inch nut driver to take them out. Once you have the 2 screws out, you can pull out these foam pieces. And that'll give you room to move this tray up and down so we can pull out the evaporator a little bit and get the defrost heater out. You want to be very careful with this evaporator. Don't put any holes in it or bang it up, otherwise your fridge will stop working. Alright, in order to remove this aluminum housing that goes around the evaporator, we have to use a flathead screwdriver and pop off this grounding clip. And then on each side, behind the aluminum frame, there's a little clip that you have to pop off with your screwdriver. You can't see it, but it's right here on each side. Once you have those 2 released, you can slide the aluminum shield off the evaporator. In order to hold this plastic housing up out of the way while we're in here working, we're going to put one of the screws back in. At the bottom of the evaporator, the heater is held in place by 2 clips. So we need to make sure you take a small screwdriver and you release these clips off the heater. Make sure you get both of them on each side. Now that we have everything on the heater off that could be holding it in place, we can go ahead and disconnect the connections. The connections are up at the top by the evaporator motor, and all you have to do is squeeze the clip or take a small screwdriver and pop them off. Alright, now that we have everything disconnected from the heater, we can just pull it out of the bottom of the evaporator. Here's the old defrost heater next to the new defrost heater. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at appliancepartspros.com. Okay, when you put the new defrost heater in, the left side actually feeds right through this little loop, and the right side just goes up through here. We put this box here to support the evaporator so you can see how it goes in. You don't need to support yours or even raise it up this high. Just you need to raise it up high enough to get the element in. So very carefully feed your wire up through there and slowly work the element up. If you have to, use a screwdriver to guide your wires up through the evaporator as you're pushing it up. And then on the bottom, once you have the element all the way in, make sure you reconnect the element supports. Now that we have the element back into the evaporator, we have to put the heat shield back in. At the bottom of the heat shield, on each side, there's a hook. Make sure that the evaporator coil sets into the hook on each side. So just make sure it snaps into place. All right, as you push the metal back up around the plastic, make sure that the locking tabs on each side here and here both lock onto the heat shield. Once you have the metal shield back into place, make sure you press your ground wire back onto the heat shield. And then all we have to do is reconnect the wires to power up the heater. Last thing we have to do is put in the foam that we took out and the last screw that holds in that plastic housing. Place that screw. Make sure we tighten down the other screw. Now that we're done with the repair, we can put the back panel into the freezer. Make sure that you get this lip up underneath here. You may have to push it in with a screwdriver to get it all the way underneath. And then make sure that you get the panel down onto these two locking tabs. Once you have it all lined up, you can replace the 6 screws with your Phillips head screwdriver. Now that we have the back panel on, we can replace the light cover that we took off. Remember, it just snaps back into place. And now we can put back in all the rails and the shelving. On our models, the thin rails go on the right. Yours may be a little bit different. You just put everything back in the way you took it out. Last thing we have to do before we put the shelves back in is put the shelf supports back on. Remember, all they do is slide on from the top. They don't just lock into place. The cups go in the rear and the pegs go in the front. All right, we'll put the baskets back in. All we have to do is push them back into place and they'll slide in. And then for the shelves, make sure that your pegs go in the holes on the left side and then they're supported on the right side. We can slide the ice bin back in, which all you have to do is set it on the rails and slide it into place. Now that you're done repairing your refrigerator, you can plug it back in, make sure that it starts to cool off, and that the temperatures return to normal. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.